We are the closest affirming church to the actual physical location of Club Q. What has been true in my experience of the community here is that the entire queer community is rocked, even if we never went dancing at Club Q. That idea that a space that was ours is lost. The idea that we were safe and now we're not. People come and find us, especially in the wake of tragedy, to be in a faith community that is in the same place that their hearts and their souls are. Colorado Springs is a really conservative religious landscape. Our church per capita numbers are kind of off the charts. You may have heard that Colorado has that moniker, the hate state, and there's like lots of religio-political organizing happening here specifically to remove protections for LGBTQ people, to remove access to reproductive health care. It really is this pressure cooker specifically of conservative religiosity. We are what I call a refugee church. We're very clear about whose side we're on because we take really seriously that Jesus is on the side of the most marginalized, and so we're going to try to be on the side of the most marginalized in all of the ways that we're able to. We have a really interesting, diverse congregation. We have young families, we have young queer people, Black and brown folks, trans and queer folks, and then, our really super well-meaning, really well-educated, straight allies who are like, we don't get it, but we're here. There's a queer elder who, most likely survived the AIDS epidemic, and he looked at me with tears in his eyes and he said, when is the hate gonna stop? And I said, I don't know, but I know that you're not fighting it alone anymore. Like, there is a generation of young queer people who are also here and fighting for our life and our love, and know what it means to be generous and in solidarity. It's really an incredible faith community. It was tough for me to see myself as a pastor because I never saw a woman pastor, I never saw a queer pastor. But I actually heard my call to ministry when I was about 7. I do identify as part of the queer community here specifically, and I use the term queer as not only talking about my sexuality, but also about my political orientation. But I identify kind of granularly as a bisexual. If you were a member of the queer community here, on some level, you were deeply impacted. That first vigil, I wound up holding the space for the grief vigil where we read the names of the people who had died, who'd been murdered for Trans Day of Remembrance, and then had to name that we know that we've lost people that are not on this list. It's really amazing to me how a public memorial like that becomes this grief nexus. Since the Club Q shooting, we've had a once monthly talking circle events. We've had stations where there's art therapy and there's individual people who are willing to talk to people. The way that that space is held is to foster listening so that we can hear that we are more alike than we are different. No one's trying to fix you, right? We're just trying to be with you, to help each other carry each other's burdens, to celebrate when you're celebrating and grieve when you're grieving, and just be with one another as our whole selves. God has called all of human life holy. Even the hard things, even the joyful things, the things that give us more life, God is where more life is. God is where love is. And so it's just a completely different way of thinking about what draws people together.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.